Electronic Arts has shut down its Black Panther game and the developer Cliffhanger Games after multiple woke DEI controversies over the last year. I wrote this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. IGN's Rebecca Valentine reports that an email sent to Cliffhanger Games staff by EA Entertainment President Laura Miele indicated the studio was being shut down and the game was being canceled in order for EA to, quote, sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities, end quote. While the game is being scrapped and the studio being shut down, EA's deal with Marvel, which was originally for 3 games, will continue, but will be helmed by Motive, which is developing an Iron Man game. Miele said, our partnership with Marvel remains strong and our multi-title long-term collaboration continues. Not only is the company shutting down Cliffhanger and scrapping the Black Panther game, but it is also laying off employees at other studios as well. Miele said these decisions are hard. They affect people we've worked with, learned from, and shared real moments with. We're doing everything we can to support them, including finding opportunities within EA where we've had success helping people land in new roles, which we've seen with some of the BioWare people. As for what those growth opportunities are at EA Entertainment, Miele implied it would be Battlefield, Skate, The Sims, and Apex Legends, as well as its Iron Man game at Motive, a third Star Wars Jedi game at Respawn, and BioWare's upcoming Mass Effect game. So let's get into all of these woke DEI controversies. It was plagued with them from the very beginning. Former head of Cliffhanger Kevin Stevens told Marvel.com that diversity was embedded into the company and developer from the get-go. He said it's an incredibly rare opportunity to build a new team around the values of diversity, collaboration, and empowerment. We want our game to enable players to feel what it's like to be worthy of the Black Panther mantle in unique, story-driven ways. And we want Cliffhanger Games to empower everyone on our team as we collaborate to bring this amazing world to life. He also shared, we're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther experience, giving them more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven video game. Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do. So again, those first comments there, incredibly rare opportunity to build a new team around the values of diversity, collaboration, and empowerment. Diversity obviously being the first one listed there. We know that typically involves engaging in illegal and immoral activity, discrimination based on race, based on sex, based on sexuality, etc. And President Donald Trump and his administration are at war with these illegal practices and have instructed his agency heads to begin investigating companies who are engaging in these illegal activities. There have already been investigations opened into the Walt Disney Company and NBC Universal. It wasn't just his statements here. We move on to March 2024, and it was discovered that Danny Lalanders, a former Sweet Baby Inc. employee, was employed by Cliffhanger Games after admitting to discriminating against white people during a presentation for the Game Devs of Color Expo 2021. That's right. They hired a woman here, who literally admitted to discriminating against white people just a couple years earlier. In the presentation discussing her indie game, Validate, Lalanders said, Validate has a team of all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment, and I know the best way for the environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something may be okay, but it was really a microaggression, and no one wants to deal with that while you're trying to make a game that they love. So she literally admits to discriminating against white people when she was making her indie game Validate. She admitted this during a presentation for the Game Devs of Color Expo 2021, and Cliffhanger Games hired this person to work with their company to develop this Black Panther game. You can't make this stuff up. Not only did Lalanders admit to discrimination, but she also said she was a racist while attempting to defend her former employer, Sweet Baby Inc., back in March. On March 7th, she wrote, this is when Sweet Baby Inc. was trying to cancel Brazilian video gamer Cabrutus Rambo for creating the Steam Curator group, indicating which games Sweet Baby Inc. had worked on, which was operating as a boycott list for many gamers not to touch those games because they were clearly infected with woke DEI ideology. So she wrote this on March 7th, 2024. I just stopped taking y'all seriously when y'all start running around saying white people can experience racism, because I did not suffer through 2020 for y'all to act like you weren't an ally to BLM 4 years later. posting that tired screenshot of the Google definition of racism, "I just don't care anymore." She then admitted to being a racist in response to Riley Man 1080 here. He wrote, "Haha, so being appropriately called racist is tiresome, huh? You could try not being racist." And she says, "Yeah, I'm racist, so what now?" And then she later stated that if you think you can be racist to white people, you literally are. So she thinks that so, I mean, just absolutely insane that this person was hired to work at Cliffhanger Games after these comments here, especially admitting that she was still there. She was still working there in March 2024, and that she was not immediately fired publicly for these comments, literally admitting to hiring a racist and employing a racist. She never should have been hired to begin with, given the fact that she was discriminating against white people and admitted to that in that presentation in 2021. We fast forward to October 2024, and Alexa Ray Correa, a senior writer for the Black Panther game, shared her desire to have a t-shirt that states most gamers are bigots. Former Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante posted to X, "I don't support all gamers. Most of you are bigots." And Correa said, "Need this on a shirt." So obviously a bunch of feminist crap going to be probably likely to be injected in the game too. And you can just see this person believing all this stuff, being a senior writer for the game, likely going to be injected into the game's story and narrative, as we have seen over the last decade or so. I'm not sad. I'm not crying over this game and this studio being shut down. I think it's actually a good thing that it has indeed been shut down and the game has been scrapped, because it likely was going to be just a bunch of propaganda similar to Dragon Age the Veilguard. And I think that begs the question, right? Given this game had so many woke DEI controversies before a trailer was even released, one has to wonder if the failure of Dragon Age the Veilguard spurred the closing of the studio and the axing of the game. Remember, following that game's release, EA admitted that it missed sales expectations by 50%. And then we also found out that they scrapped their entire writing and editing team. They laid off a ton of people, and they significantly trimmed down the staff at BioWare to only be the team that is working on Mass Effect at this point. So one wonders if the failure of Dragon Age the Veilguard led to Cliffhanger Games getting shut down, given it likely was going to be pushing the same ideology that Dragon Age the Veilguard did and already had a extraordinarily terrible reputation heading into it. And also the fact that Marvel is clearly on decline, so we know that just a brand doesn't work, right? Dragon Age the Veilguard had a solid brand until Veilguard. And obviously, it absolutely cratered that brand. And we know that Marvel has been sabotaging their own brand for a number of years now. And obviously, if you're going to be pushing the same stuff, then it's likely that you might see a similar fate to Dragon Age the Veilguard if this game actually did come into fruition. So again, one has to wonder if Dragon Age the Veilguard's failure precipitated this. And then also one wonders if Trump's administration's policies regarding DEI might also have played a role into this as well, given we know that the head of Cliffhanger Games, the former head, I guess now, of Cliffhanger Games, admitted that diversity was embedded in the game, and he built the team around the values of diversity, collaboration, and empowerment. Publicly stated that. And one wonders if maybe also trying to maybe not be investigated by the Trump administration, EA trying not to have that happen to them, because that could cause them all kinds of financial issues and other problems, legal problems as well. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?